Hello and welcome to the Podcasten. Oh, nope, that's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen. Come on, damn you. Yeah. Over here, over here. I can never figure out where to put my avatar. Here will do. Here is good. Can I can. See, that's the beauty of having things on different layers. You can just resize stuff on the fly. Anyway, for those who don't know, my name is Poptart. I'm a streamer from New Zealand. I play the video games and sometimes make content when my depression doesn't get the better of me. And originally I wasn't planning to do this at all. But recently, hang on, probably there we go. Recently, some things have happened in the content creation space that I really feel as though it's appropriate to touch base on it a lot more than what I have been, because things have just blown up a lot, and you can probably tell by the title, but we're going to be covering the Sssniperwolf drama and what that means in the greater context of YouTube, their policies, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, and things like that. So, you just set your expectations. The situation is evolving as the day goes on, as the week goes on, and it's not going to get any less complicated, and there is a lot of stuff to go over. Specific to this presentation, we won't be covering the situation on Omegle, where she allegedly engaged in pedophilia. We won't be engaging in specifics around what content she has been reacting to in terms of every single creator, because that will take too much time. We're just going to be focusing purely and solely on her and her relation to Jack's films. But if there's something specific about the situation that happens in the future and you want me to cover it, or there is a particular situation regarding doxing or anything in this presentation that you feel as though you want expanded on in more detail in the future, I'll take note of that and do something better going forward. Also, I know I've set my tags up on YouTube and Twitch for this to be considered adult content, but I'm not a dumbass. I know that children on the internet know their way around these, and it's not a bulletproof system. So if you have decided that you would like to bypass the warning on Twitch or YouTube that says this is adult content, and you're just here doing stuff that you really shouldn't be doing, then you need to leave, because I'm not going to be held responsible for any content that you see and anything that happens as a result of you viewing the stream. I'm not your parents, I'm not your dad, I'm not your father, and I'm not going to take responsibility for you. So if you are here from this point on, you need to leave. So just going to give them a couple minutes to leave. You're gone? You sure? Excellent. So, Sssniperwolf is a content creator on YouTube, best known for her reaction content. So, what is reaction content? It is essentially a video reacting to someone's content. There's a greater description here on the stream if you want to read it, but that is by and large what she's known for. She's known for reaction videos. Now, personally, I have no real problem with reaction videos. I think that they're great, but generally speaking, people tend to steer away from them for their own reasons. Sometimes it's because they find the content cringy. Other times, if you're a content creator who is struggling to make content and get views, there's this level of animosity towards reaction content people, because you could be this guy sitting on like 10,000 views and that's all you ever get, and you spend ages creating content. And then someone like, I don't know, Asmongold comes along and reacts to your content, and they get thousands on thousands on thousands of views on, you know, their video, and they also get a lot more revenue as a result of that. And the really shitty thing is the person who actually put in the effort to make that content that they're reacting to will more likely than not, never see any of that revenue that reactor made. And I think that is definitely a conversation oh, thank you for the follow. There is definitely a conversation to be had in regards to the ethics surrounding that, but we're not really here to discuss that. What we are here to discuss is more stuff specific to Sssniperwolf. Now, that's not to say that there is bad reaction content. These are just a couple of examples of people who do reaction content that, you know, people do enjoy. Jimmy here is best known for his You Laugh, You Lose series. This guy here is really, really funny as well, and he just reacts to Martin Cedo Pants most of the time, but he also reacts to other stuff as well, such as Singe, and then there's Villian. I mean, you would be hard-pressed to not like Villian at all for any of her content. But where all this comes down to a boiling point is Jack's Film versus Sssniperwolf. Now, they've been having beef for a while now, and the beef stems from the fact that Sssniperwolf has been doing reaction content for a long time, and Jack's Film has pretty much called her out for what she is. She is a content thief. I mean, you can call her a reactor, you can call her channel a reaction channel. The fact of the matter is, she doesn't create the content, she just reacts to it and gets thousands of views for it, and like, people generally aren't happy about it, specifically Jack's Film as well. So when she was wandering about with one of her friends, she decided that an appropriate move at all was to dox him or reveal his IRL location online. Obviously, she figured out this was a really shitty thing to do. Within a couple of days, she deleted all of that and a bunch of other videos as well. But by that point, the damage was already done, because when she doxed people during Jack's Film's live stream, him and his friends found out very quickly what was happening. They got some evidence, they documented it down. He obviously released a video as a response to that, and yeah, it's well known what she did, when she did it, and who she did it with. Now, what is doxing? It is the act of publishing someone's private information, usually with malicious intent. Now, doxing is bad. Okay, it's just really not an okay thing to do. Just don't do it. Because it can also lead to other things such as swatting. Just going back to either of those things, however, whether you dox someone or you swat someone, you could have a situation such as this here. Now, if you don't know who these two individuals are, the person on your left is a content creator by the name of Count Dankula, a really great guy. I'll be linking to this specific video down in the comments on YouTube. Guy on the left is a guy who goes online by the name of Dragon Lord. Now, that is a whole story in itself. Crux of it is Dragon Lord has his own mental health problems, and he's kind of unique in what he does and how he reacts with people. His IRL location got leaked. As a result of that, people came to his house, harassed him. He responded back. The police got involved. They pretty much said, this is a problem on both sides, we're not dealing with it, and it ended up with him losing his house, and he had to move. And I think, if memory serves, and I could be wrong with this, so don't quote me on it, he also got banned from the village he lives or lived in. Now, swatting, just going back to that, that's also bad. Where it differs from doxing is that it usually involves someone calling the police, to someone's house, either because they don't like them or they're beating them online and they just decided to find their IRL location and convince the police to go there in an attempt to invade their house so that they can get arrested, usually in a brutal fashion, but more often than not, swatting is done with malicious intent. Now, swatting is bad, because all of that can happen, and it is more or less a certified shit cunt move. Now, those are just a couple of examples of things that could go wrong when someone finds your IRL information, either because they intently found it, or in this example of Sssniperwolf versus Jack's Films, they leaked it to the internet and then someone found out that information and decided they were going to do some nefarious shit. Now, this is YouTube's response to it, and if you can't read that, I apologize, but the gist of it is they decided that although it's a immediate termination offense, they're just going to cap her ability to earn revenue on some of her videos for a period of time. That's it. Now, I want you to imagine everything that I just said. I want you to keep that in the forefront of your mind. This guy could have gotten seriously hurt as a result of his IRL location being leaked online to thousands of people. He could have lost home. He could have had people he cared about being targeted as well as a result of this. Many things could happen outside of what I've just brought up, and this is YouTube's response. Now, I've talked to a couple of people about this myself, and when I make these sorts of podcasts, these videos, whatever you want to call this, I do try to stay as neutral as I possibly can. But everyone I've talked to agrees that this is a really shitty response to a really serious situation. And you might be thinking, well, okay, this is a response. Has Sssniperwolf made a response to this thing? Yes, she has. So, she made a response, okay, that's cool, and it was later found out that it was 100% fabricated by an AI. Now, I'm not going to try tell you that you should feel a certain way about this. I don't believe that that's my place. I think you have the information in front of you. You're more than capable of making your own, how should we say, opinions based on what information I presented to you and what information you'll probably see coming up in the future that you'll either find out by accident or you'll find just as a result of researching the situation further. But it is very, very clear that YouTube is intently not taking action on this, and beyond speculation, we really don't know why they're not doing anything. I can certainly speculate based on research I've done in the past, where they have policies regarding new websites where if it doesn't reach X amount of millions of dollars and X amount of millions of users in a year, they'll axe the service. I could touch base on the fact that YouTube has been a lost leader for them for years, and the act of removing someone who generates this many views, which will then result in so much ad revenue over time, is a really dumb idea on YouTube's part if their concern is maximizing revenue for the sake of keeping YouTube afloat, which, given as popular as it is, from a purely monetary standpoint, is something to be concerned about. But until we get a more direct response from YouTube, all we have is speculation, and I don't think that it's a very good idea for anyone, myself included, to say, confirmed, this is why YouTube didn't take more serious action against Sssniperwolf, even though they really should have. So, I think the only appropriate action people like yourself, and myself included, can take is to take pause and evaluate how they feel about YouTube, because this really isn't okay. Like, we can't be having it where they have a very strict TOS that they don't enforce because they're more worried about money, because what does that then set as an example for content creators such as myself who are struggling to get the thousands of views on their channels, who are struggling to reach a partner, who are trying to look for ways to improve their content, and then they see people like this at, arguably the top tier of content creation on YouTube getting away with quite literally breaking the law. Because I think in her specific state, there is a penal code that she broke. There are questions about what does this mean for the TOS as a whole? Does it really matter? There are questions around what this means for content creation. Like, is it something that really has a clear path anymore? Like, should you go around creating your own content, or should you do stuff like this? Like, what is the way to ultimately be successful? Do you dodge ethics in favor of growth, or do you dodge growth in favor of ethics? There is a greater conversation that I feel needs to be had, but ultimately YouTube does need to do a better job of explaining why they've made the decision they've made, because there is a lot that we don't know, and I feel as though, out of fairness to content creators such as myself and Mistress Bailey and Monica Cinnamon and Monica and a bunch of other content creators that I've either worked with or know personally, I think we are owed answers, because if we want to be successful, which we do, and these are the examples of success on the platform that are allowed to quite do what they do and get away with it with nothing but a slap on the wrist, I think a great dialogue needs to be happened, because no one's under any disillusion. This isn't acceptable, but if this isn't acceptable, what is? I leave that for you to think about. Anyway, my name is Poptart. Thank you for this stream. If you want to follow me, my socials on the table, but pretty much on most social media platforms, I am Poptart VT. I will be streaming again tomorrow. What I'll be doing, I don't know, but stay tuned to my socials, and I will update you when I know what I'm doing next. Bye for now. Where is the transition? There it is.